Previously on Unranked.
I actually have a little show and tell thing I can do right now.
Oh, show.
A thing that they're doing for Destiny is if you complete certain things in the game, there are physical items that you can buy. And for every raid, if you complete it within the first week of it dropping, you can order a jacket based on the raid.
Wow.
And I did that for the Root of Nightmares, which was the raid that came with Lightfall earlier when I was playing Destiny like all the time. And then here's the coolest thing.
Oh, that is
Gamertag patch.
That is dope.
on the breast. It is.
I mean,
kind of,
season 1, I would have got a Vault of Glass for sure. Like back then,
they might bring because some of the raids return. I don't know if they're still.
they can't get me to give them another penny.
No, of course not. Of course.
Hello and welcome to the Unranked podcast. This is Christian Humes here with GreatBriTom, Caswell.
I can't wait to get to what we've been up to this week. Hey, what's up, everyone? How you doing? How we doing?
No Tuna today.
What was his reasoning? I forget.
He had like a work thing in the city. He had like an event, a work event in the city.
There we go.
Who knows?
Okay, well there we go. No tunes. Try to get a guest, but no one could make it.
It's tough. It's Thursday nights. We always struggled.
Tough, yeah.
We always had trouble to get guests. When we were doing Wednesday, it was actually easier to get guests. But that's just how it is. Once Survivor's over,
once Survivor's done.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a new Survivor to watch.
I haven't watched it yet either, so that's good.
Okay,
so I won't be disappointing you if you were banking on that.
No. Very, honestly, too many great shows out. We've been checking out Crapopolis. Have you heard of this one? Did I bring it up on the podcast? It's Dan Harmon's new show. It's on Fox.
Oh, you did.
But we watched on Hulu. Yeah, the ancient Greek one. It's a lot of fun. Too many good shows.
Yeah, we I mean we'll get into it. Let's get into why don't we get into
let's get into
the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Tom, it's the 397th episode of the Unranked podcast, which means it's 397th Pokemon.
Yeah.
Last week was Starly. Can you name who's that Pokemon?
I think like one of them is called like Staravia or something like that. I don't know if it's this one or the next one. I don't even know if that's correct, but it's something like that.
You're right.
Okay.
Staravia.
Is this
which
the
makes
middle
it's a little bit like Stevia?
Yeah, that's how I remember it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Staravia. Okay.
But this is where the emo really comes in.
This is where the emo is starting.
It's starting, and then the next one he reaches full scene kid Pokemon.
Yeah, he's got like an Elvis curl just in the wrong place.
Yeah, a little bit.
This might be my favorite of the three.
I don't know. I like Staraptor.
Right, the last one. I mean, it just pushes it to
the Fallout Boy Pokemon.
It is the Fallout Boy. Yeah, that's literally what it's called.
Staraptor, the Fallout Boy Pokemon.
This Pokemon does. I do think adding in the emo cut or whatever, I do think it gives it a bit more personality, which is something that I think just like basic Starly is missing. So yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, it looks like the teen version of this Pokemon. It's normal flying, which why even bother giving it a normal typing? I mean, I know because it matters with the
it's better off being normal flying because it helps, I think, limit possibly some of the dual typings. Because if it was pure flying, then it might, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't fuck with that.
Maybe it has to do with the movesets. Maybe it has to do with the movesets that are available to it. But they also break those rules a lot. They'll always be like, oh, this is a water type Pokemon, but it knows ice. This is a fire type Pokemon that has ground moves. Who knows?
Yeah.
Tom, we don't have Tuna here today. Can you let us know about the origin of this Pokemon's name?
I believe
someone's got to do it.
I believe it may be a combination of Starling and Avian. pertaining to birds.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
it's Staravia.
It doesn't have a stevia sweet tooth.
No, that's too bad.
Unfortunately.
How about I tell you about
go ahead,
Pokédex?
Yeah.
This is
it's got nothing else about it. Like literally its trivia is
it is I mean, look, this is a basic Pokemon.
Basic Pokemon.
It really is. In Pokemon Platinum, though, they say it is recognizing their own weakness. They always live in a group. When alone, a Staravia cries noisily, which feels like if you're vulnerable,
pulling attention
to
alone, it solo. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's evolutionarily helpful for its predators.
Yes. Yes. That's so funny. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, nothing more to say with this one.
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's move on from the Pokemon. There isn't a lot to say about this Pokemon. That's just how these go. With we get into the early doldrums and we'll get back out. There'll be cool ones again. It waxes and wanes. You got hills and valleys with the Pokemon each generation. Yeah. We just got through three sets of starters. You can't go back to back against
3 great starters.
Yeah, we're getting the palate cleanser Pokemon now.
Yeah, it is the palate cleanser. This is what
it's like having a glass of water.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we kicked it off with the starters. Everyone loves starters. These are good starters. Now we gotta give you a stretch of kind of whatever Pokemon. Then in the middle we'll get some good meaty ones, and then it will kind of be like this for a bit, and then you end on a high.
We had the appetizers, but now we're waiting. We're gonna munch on some bread and water, because we're gonna have the birds, the dog, the rat,
right,
and then the plant Pokemon. And there's usually some 2 plants, of those 5 are usually cool, and the rest of them. So it's like you have some water. Oh, let me have a little bread. Let me have some water. But none of them are, the main course. That's not what we're here for. So Tom, you may notice I am not walking today.
Oh. That I didn't even okay.
Yeah.
You're not.
Well, two things. Number one, after last week's episode, I gotta tell you, the Rome thing, right? Twice in a row with There's No Place Like Rome. I had a lot more to talk about with it, but I just found it so difficult to speak.
That was funny because when I looked at because we were trying to keep it short and sweet so we could play some golf after.
Yeah.
And you did No Place Like Rome, and I looked at it, had the slide number, and I was like, oh, there's 11 slides in this. And then you stopped on slide 2, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe the rest is for another episode. But no, you skipped.
Yeah, that's funny. I just might not do it because I'll be honest, it was kind of funny to do when if it's all of us, if there's 3 of us and there's a lot to discuss, then I can kind of get away with it. But when I'm trying to do something and really talk, I was just trying to get through it. I was skipping all my notes, the interesting facts. I'm like, about this guy? Cool. Let's fucking move on. And I'm like, that wasn't the plan for this. I wanted this to almost be like a quick 3-minute, little PowerPoint. Mini deep dive, in and out. Give you some interesting things. And instead I'm like, about that. All right. So, but then also yesterday I played Dodgeball.
Yes.
I'm back. I've been playing some games, and one of the games I've been playing is Dodgeball. So I haven't played Dodgeball or softball since I hurt my back last spring. And now that I've lost half the pandemic weight, I'm at a point where I was like, okay, I definitely can't do softball yet because that's how I hurt myself. But I'm gonna try Dodgeball. And while my back is fine, the rest of my body is so tired and sore today from being so unbelievably out of shape.
Sure.
I suck at Dodgeball now.
Wow.
I am pre-pandemic, Tom, in 2019, I was at my peak Dodgeball skills.
Uh-huh.
I got MVP with the season in 2019 when we won our league. You peaked. I could get into the zone like that with Dodgeball. I had full zone awareness, full court aware. I knew what I was doing. I was out there last night, just tunnel vision. John Murphy, where he's on my team, he said to me, he was like, you got tunnel vision. What's going on? He was like, you're not paying attention to anything in front of you. I Tom, I felt like I was just like,
I love the idea of John it being like a sports film, and you're having like he's like, "What you doing out there? You don't know paying attention to anything. Get it together."
I mean, you say that as a joke, but we're on the line because we both got out at this point, and he says to me, he's like, you got tunnel vision. He goes, all their lefties are on the right-hand side, so they want to throw to the right. Why you're stacked on the wrong side of the court? I'm like, fuck, I'm not paying attention to anything. I was like, your strategy is up here. I'm like someone who's like baby's first oddball match. For like 30 seconds, I knew what I was doing. Like by the end of the night, like I was like just like really like mad that I was doing so badly that like the adrenaline got to me, and I got in the zone. I got like a good double catch, and I got someone out, and then we ended up actually like winning that round. But that was it. There was like a brief moment where I was like, all right, I can get there again. But I was dog shit. I was dog shit. I got out left and right. I only got 3 people out with 2 of them were catches. So I got a hill climb, Tom.
Hey, but I believe in you. You'll climb that. You'll climb that hill. You'll get to the top. We cut to montage of Chris training, waking up at as the sun rises to like throw balls, slow mo silhouette Chris throwing balls outside.
Like, every now and then you find something, Tom, that you're like, oh, I like got good at this. Like,
yeah.
It's all gone.
It's all gone. That's such a shame. Well, I look forward to your redemption arc. Well, let's just put it that way. This is an anime. You got to treat this like an anime now.
Well,
you got to climb, get back on that.
Kuroko's no basket.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. Kuroko's basketball. Amazing sports anime. Really good. One of the coolest things they do, and it's like kind of the area in which it elevates from like almost to like a shonen.
Right.
But it is they are just playing basketball. But some characters will get into the zone, which is why I use that phrase. And there is a thing like where they call it flow state, getting into the zone.
Yeah.
But they take it to an elevated level in the anime, and it's like they become almost like superhuman at the game. That's like how I felt for that brief moment. I was like, oh, I gotta get back. I gotta be a zone player again.
I love it. That's so good. Well, good luck. I look forward to this arc and seeing where it goes.
Yeah, I need my training arc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're just Midoriya right now. I
gotta go
early days
carry
Midoriya.
Shit in the junkyard and
yes, exactly, and like clean the beach and stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, so Dodgeball's kicked your ass. Did you end up seeing the creator? Did you see it?
I did. I saw 2 movies.
Okay, let's talk about it because we ended up seeing the creator too.
Well, let's start with the creator, and then I'll tell you about, actually no, let me tell you about my bad movie experience, and then we'll cap it off with what I thought was a good movie experience with the creator.
Sure, yeah.
I saw for the first time Hocus Pocus. Never seen it.
Oh, okay.
Saw I was playing at AMC, and I was like,
thrills and chills. AMC
seems like a great way to see what is like considered a classic film.
Sure.
To see it in theaters for the first time.
Sure.
I would say throughout my life, since that I got to Los Angeles, it has been the best movie theater experience I've ever had. The audience is traditionally very good and not a problem. Everything changed. So much to the point that this other night I was like, I may never go to the movies again. That was so bad.
Sorry, what was good?
The movie was good. The patronage was terrible. I had this mom sitting behind me with her kid. Just treating this theater like it's their fucking living room.
Are you sure?
Coming in with like clearly bags of like food and candy and stuff that like aren't from here.
Sure.
Blankets for both of them. So at the beginning of the movie, Teresa and I are like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Because they're just talking. They're just yapping away left and right. And they're yapping away as they're just stuffing their faces with different crinkly bags of candy and just like, oh, give me that one. I just want and just like, well, this is going to stop soon, right? Like the movie's starting, like this is going to stop. But it only got worse from there. The child is basically just like out loud saying things, commenting on the movie. And so the kid's 8 years old. The kid's sitting right behind me, putting their feet up on the back of my chair and like kicking my chair. So like I turned around, looked at them a couple of times. The mom doesn't say anything. And then finally I say to Teresa, I'm like, I'm about to fucking lose it. So I turn around and I'm like,
something.
I was like, hey, I was like, you gotta stop. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
And you know what the mom says? This is like after like close to 30 minutes into the film.
I can make a guess. Yeah.
She goes, she's 8. And I was like, and you're a parent. I was like, do something about it.
Are you 8?
this rotten human being is just gonna raise another rotten, spoiled, entitled child like her.
Yeah.
She goes, can you try not to kick the chair? So I give him a couple more glares. She makes the kid move over a couple of seats where no one's sitting, and it's still doing the same thing, putting her feet up. But then she's like kicking the feet, like her feet against the chair. So I just feel my chair.
Yeah, you feel it. No, it doesn't matter how far down the road she is.
Tom, I don't know why we didn't just get up and leave. I think it was just because I was like, I'm not going to come back to the theater.
This is my. I'm making a stand. Yeah. Okay.
It was the worst. It was the absolute worst. And this kid, if this kid were a few years older, I would have said something directly to the kid. You know, it's once they're like, close to like a teen, you can be like, hey, tell you about, fucking knock it out.
Talks about the time I terrified these high schoolers when we went to go see Toy Story 4.
No.
We went to go see Toy Story 4. It was like it was a late night showing, and it was late into the run of it. Yeah. We were in Asbury Park, New Jersey, which is a little bit like south, south.
I got my car broken into there at the Stone Pony.
The Stone Pony, the icon, like the thing that everyone, the iconic spot. Anyway, so we were there, and there were high schoolers. There were a group of girls, and who was sitting right in front of us, and I guess like boys from that high school were like sitting at the very front. And before the movie started, they were like running back and forth, like doing stuff. You know, just like talking to each other, like all this stuff. And I was like, well, this is going to stop when the movie starts, right? You know, like having that mindset of like, please don't continue us into the movie because like, I'm not going to tolerate it and you're not going to be happy about it. But no, they were texting, taking selfies at the beginning of the movie. We're not doing this for even a moment. So I just leaned over and went into like from as a shadow. Almost, because I don't even think they realized that we were behind them. They were so self-absorbed and we were in the very back row. So I just lean over and I go in between them, like, can you please stop this? Yeah. And the girls went stiff as a board, and they didn't move a muscle for the entire movie. I was so thankful. I was like, thank you for not kicking up a fuss, and thank you for being scared shitless because you think I'm an adult. Yeah. I'm sorry that you didn't have a similar reaction. That really fucking sucks. Did you enjoy Hocus
the mom
Pocus?
Literally didn't give a shit. She was treating this like daycare. The mom was there to watch this movie. The kid didn't even want to watch it. She kept asking like when the movie was going to end. So it's not like she was doing this for the kid. This was for the mom who grew up watching this movie and was like, this is my time.
It's weird then that she herself tolerated the kid's nonsense.
Because she's a rotten human being.
Well, there we go. Did you enjoy Hocus Pocus? I've only seen it the once.
I did, but it was really recently. It was really hampered by the experience. So much so that I'm like, I'm not gonna even try and watch it again until at least a year from now. Because I'm just like,
you're gonna be PTSD. Yeah, I get you.
My children's Halloween movie was always Double Trouble with Mary Kate and Ashley. Which is great.
I don't think
great Halloween movie. Yeah. That was what I grew up watching. I didn't see Hocus Pocus.
Halloween. What has been like my Halloween go-to? See, I was so scared. I mean,
it's not my go-to. I'm just saying, like when I was a child, I haven't seen it in maybe 2 decades.
Right. I'm just trying to think. Like the other thing is like we just don't really have Halloween as much, so it's not really like a
yeah. But you've been here since you were 12,
13, 14 was around the time. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have one. I mean, it wouldn't be something that I consider like a Halloween movie. It would be something like Terminator, or something like, or Alien or something.
Yeah, well, like a scary movie of some kind.
Yeah, I really didn't watch many, even like the kids. I don't know.
Have you watched the Final Destination movies?
I have never seen them.
Dude, Teresa and I watched them.
I've never
all
seen the
last year.
Saws. I've never seen the Saws.
Oh, you got to watch some of this. The Final Destination stuff is a little bit more fun because it's not about torture, even though there is some like graphic stuff in it.
It's like cosmic. It's like
well, it's just like it's like Mousetrap with humans. You know, because they're all
But
like
it's
these
not
Rube Goldberg events where like a thing knocks this other thing over
Well,
and the
that's
ball
Saw,
rolls down.
right?
No.
Oh.
No, Saw is actual contraptions. These are like Rube Goldberg events where like this person is in a car and they're just driving along and this other truck comes by and like the log falls. I mean,
that's the famous one, right?
Yeah, but each one is this like comedy of errors almost that leads to a death. Like it's just like these, like you see it starting to happen. Like the person enters the kitchen and there's like a gust of wind that closes the kitchen door. And when that happened, they didn't hear that they bumped into the gas on the burner. So the gas is coming out of the burner, but it's not on, and they don't realize like
are those movies a sequence? Is it like an anthology where it's just like his one horrific event, his another, or is there a storyline in these?
There's a little bit of storyline.
Okay.
The first one, there's a little bit of a storyline. Honestly, I think it's worth it to watch all of them. Teresa and I watched all of them last year. She was like, I kind of want to do that again. I was like, oh, I'm totally fucking in to watch all of them again.
Damn, if we'd come a little bit late, like if we'd come like in October, like I definitely would have been down to do that.
I would have made you play dodgeball, which would have been sick.
It would have been so fucking funny. That would be so funny. All right, so Creator, we both saw it. What do you how did you feel about it?
So okay. I struggle to find anything in particular about the movie that I felt was bad.
Yes.
The thing is, there wasn't a lot that made me, I mean, like visually I thought it was great. I just like the aesthetic a lot in the same way that I like the aesthetic in Star Wars, but it didn't have the heart that Star Wars has. I didn't like feel for any of the characters in the way, I kind of was hoping to feel for the characters in the way that I did for like a District 9 when I saw the trailers for this.
It had big District 9 vibes as well watching it. Yeah.
And so that was kind of what I was hoping for. But the biggest thing is that I keep thinking the movie could be shorter. And not for any particular reason. There's no specific pieces of it that I'm like, well, this was unnecessary. But
it takes a bit to get going.
It does take a little bit to get going. But traditionally, isn't that like because they want you to get to know the characters? And I guess that's where they screwed up.
But that's not how this movie spends its time. Yeah. It's I'm
struggling. I'm trying not to just like shit on things blind anymore, because the fact of the matter is like it's so like the more time I've spent making things, the more like you just realize how hard it is to do that. And it's like, I mean, this isn't a bad movie. It just didn't excite me.
And I think it's a success from the way that sums it up for me. My friend Charles, who I used to work with at IO9, he now works at The Verge. He wrote The Verge's review for the film. And
this guy beat in Smash Brothers during the tournament.
That's correct. His title for his review was The Creator's Beautiful World Deserves a Better Film. And that's ultimately how I think I feel about it. I think visually, like the design, like the robot design, and we get some really cool stuff.
The robot design's so good, dude.
It just gets better throughout the film. And I'm like, just if you're gonna make an Akira live action, get this team to do it, because clearly they were inspired by the visual aesthetic of Akira, and they could do that movie. I think this movie has a couple of like problems that aren't terrible, but connected. It like leaves just like kind of a lack of a taste in my mouth. One, the movie is this movie is simultaneously like a war movie and a love story at the same time.
Yeah,
it does not marry those two well. We never sit too long. We never sit long enough in these emotional moments to kind of absorb them. I do think like the final, like when we got to the end of the movie, the final emotional beat, I was emotional toward, mostly because this kid robot is like adorable and an incredible actor, like really sold this performance. So I just don't think it marries its love story and war story together well. I don't think it's written very well. It's not bad, but it is just kind of like whatever dialogue and whatever action beats. And then honestly, the third thing, I think I've decided I don't think John David Washington is a good actor or a great actor. I think he's fine. I think he can act. I just don't think that. I think that if you had a way stronger actor in the lead here, it would have gone a lot further, because the movie is so focused on him and his story. And the problem is that he's very unlikable for a lot of the film.
Yes.
Until about 2/3 in, which is fine, but he's not charming, I feel. Like there's nothing about him that is like, I kind of don't like you, but like you've got charm, or you've got something. And so I just think that it's a combination of the character isn't that well written, and I think that the performance is kind of lacking. Overall, though, I did enjoy my time with it. And it gets better as it goes, but the pace increases towards the end as well. Like we get to the end of the movie, and there's like a big action set piece, and it feels like it should be the conclusion to the movie, but the big thing that's meant to happen hasn't happened yet. And I was like, please don't. I was terrified that they were going to leave it on a cliffhanger and like be like, oh, maybe we'll get to make a sequel. No. And I was like horrified at that notion. And then they just kind of speed through the last 10 minutes is like a montage almost. And it actually works, I think, because we kind of get through it a bit faster. So yeah, I think I agree with you, and I think that it is too long in places, or too slow. It just needed more fight.
They needed to make his character more likable.
Yeah,
they really did.
Yeah,
because the little kid was kind of the thing that pulled me through. You know,
yes, 100%.
He's what pulls me through everything.
Yeah.
It was really cool looking, but like,
oh, it's so cool looking. The design, I don't even think it's necessarily like the visual effects, although I did think they were really good. And
no, it's just the aesthetics. It's all the aesthetic design. It's the decisions, and like they came up with a real design language for everything, and it all felt married in a way in which like, oh, these things came together over time. Like,
yes,
you can see like a progression of technology that looks like it was real and like came from like a specific source. Like, it didn't feel like just slapdash. Or,
here's like, just these are the robots, and then here are the synthetics, right? And like, the more you get to see them, the more you see the evolution of the design from one to the next. And I thought that was really, honestly, if this movie,
it's a great world
more,
that needs a better story.
Yeah, if it had been more focused on these like freedom fighters group, Ken Watanabe, and he's got his robot friend, like they're way more likable.
Yeah,
but they're not the focus of the story. They just help John David Washington's character along. Allison Janney, I didn't even know she was in this film. I think she has a great villain role. Again, sure. wish that had been expanded upon. Oh, dude, and I gotta say, I think the Nomad ship is up there as one of the coolest designs. Specifically, its laser targeting system. It's freaking sick.
Come on. I mean, the aesthetics in this, I was like, I mean, some of this would make a great video game. Like, like that is. I was thinking about that throughout. I'm like, I would play this game for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it should have been.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you could have. Yeah, I agree. Maybe it would work more as a video game, because as a movie,
which tells you like that's the story feels kind of thin.
Yes, the writing's not that good. It feels just like a video game. Yeah, and it might have you might have been, because I do think it's too long, but also both halves of the movie, the love story and the war stuff, I'm like, but they don't feel like there's a lot of substance to either of those stories. Like, because they keep having these flashbacks of John David Washington and Gemma Chan, and they keep having these flashbacks, and I'm looking at them like, I know, like, you clearly shot this on the same day. Like, all of their years of history, you just shot on the same day, and it couldn't be more apparent. But that being said, I do think it is worth seeing, especially if you have like a Stubbs. And I will always support original IP, especially in this genre, because we ain't.
I will always be happy to get more Star Wars and stuff like that, but I do want to continue to see more original stuff.
100%.
That is 100%. Important. So, let's talk about some video games, Tom.
I'd love to. This is a gaming podcast,
not
movie.
Yeah.
Cast.
Well, what have you been playing? I mean, I already talked about Dodgeball. What have you been playing?
Played a couple of things. I dabbled with some Forza Motorsport, which is out now on Game Pass.
Oh, is there any like good fun modes in it?
What does that mean?
Well, the last one had like the last one was a Horizon. This is the Motorsport. Motorsport's not
simulation.
Me. Yeah, Motorsport is not
for a lot of everyone.
Me. Yeah,
I do think though that they have made this one more accessible for the people that it is not for. I don't think it's going to change your mind or anything. But one of the thing that overwhelms me about a lot of racing games in general, especially the Forzas, where car collection is a big part of it. This game focuses on like you're going to have a couple of cars and you're going to like fine tune them. It's not about collecting everything. It's about finding the stuff that you like and fine tuning them. It has a couple of really great. They call it a car PG because the cars level up as you use them, and you use as
now
you
that's
level
interesting.
up.
Sorry, I don't mean to just
go ahead.
Here, but isn't the whole point with these simulations? I mean, like I could just be totally off base here because I've tried playing them and they're just not for me. But I thought with the simulation games, you want them to be as true to life as possible. And I thought the only way to like do upgrades or whatever was either getting different cars or different builds of cars. So like how are they upgrading it while maintaining that?
So as you level up the car, you unlock new like pipe, and a new engine block or a new tires.
Okay. It's not
you
like
level up.
Your speed increased.
No, it's like you handled this like you beat your time on this lap. So here's a little bit of XP. You took this corner faster. You gained a position in the race. That's going to give you a little XP, and then you level up that way.
Are there like skill trees? Can I get like a stealth car?
No, but you can't. You just unlock like access to. It's both like new upgrades to certain parts of the car, and then also like access to parts of the car. So from the beginning, you can't just upgrade the engine. Like you have to get to like level 10 or whatever to start upgrading the engine. The beautiful thing about it too, Chris, is that they have an automatic upgrade. Press this button. We will do all the upgrades for you to make the numbers on the car go up and like optimize it for like this is the best upgrades you can make right now. So I just hit that button and it's done, and that's great. I mean, I've just played some of the beginning storyline stuff. They make you do a couple of practice laps beforehand and kind of say like, hey, if you're hitting this time, like you're going to do well in the race. The other thing I'm really impressed with that I know that they have spent a lot of time with is the AI of the other drivers, the drivatars as they call them. Seem way more advanced than anything I've really seen in a racing game before, where they don't really give you a lot of opportunities, the other racers, to like overtake and stuff like that. Like they're not making human errors. There have been multiple races I've been a part of where like there have been those like human error elements that have really surprised me and like shows you like this is a great time to like get past this stuff. So if I don't think it's going to change anyone's tune. If you're like, I'm not a sim racing guy. I don't think there's anything here that's going to like totally undo that. But I do think they have made a lot of adjustments to progress toward that.
The drivatars in the past, they used to be informed by actual player driving data, I believe.
I think it's a mix of that and then like the AI systems. I mean, all of
But I think the AI systems looked at how players drove. So to make them more realistic to players, that's probably how that works. Because one of the things with like captchas, right? Do you the puzzle? You ever do those puzzle piece captchas?
Right. Yes.
Do you know how those work?
In terms of
how, like how does that verify anything? I'm not trying to do a gotcha. But
no, I know.
The way this works is if a robot is doing
how
it,
other people are right.
It'll just be like a perfectly straight line. It'll nail it. Whereas if a human does it, like your mouse is gonna fucking move weird first because you're finding your mouse, and it's never gonna be like that. Sounds almost like this. Like they figured out how to get the AI to not drive perfectly on what the correct course is. And my guess is they're probably using actual player data to do that.
I think it has always been some form of that, and it's just like they've fine-tuned it.
They've got it there.
That's
like, they've got ChatGPT in it.
They got ChatGPT. They plugged ChatGPT in and figured it out. Anyway, so that's Forza. And then the other thing that I've been playing this week, again, haven't played too much of it, is Lords of the Fallen, which is another new Souls-like that's come out or is coming out. It'll be, if you're listening now, it's out. I'm, like I said, very early into it. I've fought 3 bosses, beaten 3 bosses. It sounds like the beginning of the game is the best part, and it kind of wears out its welcome over time. That being said, I really enjoy what I've played of it so far. It might be my favorite non-FromSoft Souls-like. The thing about this game that it does that's really cool and really unique and really mixes things up, I don't know if you've seen gameplay, you have this thing called the umbral lamp, and you can raise it at any point, and it shows you an alternate reality that's happening at the same time, kind of like the medium. And you can instantly switch to that reality, which becomes, there's a ton of mechanics, honestly, a kind of overwhelming amount of mechanics. I think there's a bit of bloat, but it does a lot of unique things. Like when you're in this reality, you have access to certain areas you wouldn't have otherwise, but enemies are more difficult. The longer you spend in this reality, the more enemies that become aware of you and like come and attack you. But then when you're in the regular reality, you can still interact with this umbral realm without jumping into it. For example, you can like pull the soul of an enemy out of itself and attack its soul to like deal way more damage. But you have to recharge that, you have to go into the umbral realm and like do things there.
How are you spelling this word?
Umbral, UMB, like Umbreon.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Umbral.
Okay.
UMBRAL. And you can do things like in your realm there'll be a gap, but you can see something over there, and you can pull up the umbral lamp and it will show like there's a bridge in the umbral realm, and you can just hold the lamp up and walk across this bridge. But the lamp has like a field of view. So if you drop the lamp or you accidentally move a certain way, like the bridge will disappear under you. So there's like a risk reward thing where it's like you could just teleport into the umbral realm and have the bridge there, and then when you die, you are taken to the umbral realm if you're not already there. So you get kind of like a second chance. But if you are in the umbral realm and die, you'll have something like when there was this boss, and again you have the ability to die once, survive, you're in the umbral realm and you can fight them. But there was this one boss who has like this parasite that exists only in the umbral realm, and you cannot deal damage to them until that parasite is destroyed. So it forces you from the jump to jump into the umbral realm and fight them in there. But obviously, like if you die, like that's it, you got to start again. So it's doing a lot of cool stuff. I think if you're a Souls-like fan, definitely check it out. And it's the other thing is it's a reboot of a game from 2014 that I played at the time because Bloodborne had like just come out, and maybe it was 2015. We were super into Dark Souls games and stuff, and that was that was like trying to do Souls-like, but also be more of a traditional like action RPG game. This one fully leans in. It has the aesthetics of a Bloodborne. It's way more wearing its inspiration on its sleeve. And it's kind of the thing when we talk about Smash Brothers games where I just wish you'd do Smash Brothers. Like, don't try and make it unique. It's not working.
Sure.
Like,
yes, yeah.
This is successfully like, cool, we're just going to be a Dark Souls
doing
game.
something different to do something different, not because it's actually better.
Exactly. And this game, I think, like, it leaning way more into it being FromSoft, but it has an actual story that is easy to follow and stuff. So that's an element. If From Software games have put you off because they're so obtuse, this is a very much more straightforward storyline. There's cutscenes, there's explanations for things. It's easy to follow. So definitely something to check out. I don't think it's like a Game Pass thing or anything like that. But I've seen it for pretty cheap in places, like on discount. And so that's really what I've been playing. I did pick up something. Tom's Show and Tell is returning this week. I
me too. Let's start with yours.
Oh, okay, cool. So I went to New York Comic Con today, first day at the Comic Con. I went to actually go check out a new video game. It's called Rugrats Adventures in Gameland.
Yo, dude, hell yeah.
Have you seen anything about this?
I have, yeah.
It's a new Rugrats game that's a retro inspired game. It's built for the NES, so you can actually buy an NES cartridge of this. And if you buy it on a modern console, you can switch between.
Does not have Nintendo Seal of quality, by the way.
I don't think it does. It's with limited run games, and if you buy it on a modern console, you have the ability to switch between the retro graphics and the art style, which is actually done by the animation team that does Castlevania.
Cool.
That was a wild fact. I was like, for Rugrats, really?
Yeah,
but
that's dope.
It looks good. It looks fun. It was a fun time. It's very much a retro game because it has to run on an NES, so it feels like a retro game, which is cool. But I was at limited run, and they had old games that they no longer sell online, but like they have stock of, but like the because they only sell them for a certain amount of time, sure, and then they're gone. They had brought that supply to New York Comic Con. Chris, something I've been telling myself these last few weeks and months: we're never getting that KOTOR remake. It's never happening.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Limited Run made a physical release for the Switch version of KOTOR. And these are games that I've never played. So I picked up KOTOR 1 on Switch, and then I picked up KOTOR 2 as well. But I got a very cool kind of collector's edition of it that is in the style of the old Star Wars VHS tapes.
Oh, that's really, really, really cool. I fucking love that. You got Darth Revan right on the front. That's fucking sick.
You have the it says Forever Physical on the bottom, but this is where it would say like widescreen or whatever on the VHS tape. It's so cool. And then the box is like the sleeve looks like the VHS sleeve, and then it's got a VHS tape box.
Love it.
And then inside is the regular Switch case, and then
holy shit, this looks really fucking cool.
And then a steel book inside as well.
That's sick. Thing. That's sick. That's worth buying. That was really cool. I like this more than your Destiny jacket.
It's very fucking sick. Unfortunately, they do not sell this online anymore. You can only get them when they bring it to like a convention or something like that. So yeah, I picked that up. And yeah, so yeah, I think this is so sick. It's so dope. They made one for the first KOTOR as well. I would have picked it up, but they only had the regular version of the game still. So yes. What you got? Chris's show and tell.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay. I'm playing Destiny again.
When we were starting to watch the previously on, it was on the jacket, which was actually if I recall, not a part of the main episode last week.
Oh yeah, that was during the post show. So
Yeah.
if you're not a Spartan, you don't get to see the post show. That's the Spartans get to watch it live, and then as we continue the live show, when the main show ends, we do a post show. Most of the time, sometimes but yeah, it's I'm back in.
Yeah, I thought I completely forgot that you said you're never spending another dime, and then the funniest thing is Chris a couple of days later is like, "What do I have to buy for Destiny 2?" Cost is not an issue because I said it's got like.
Because I knew you were going to be like, well, I'm like, just tell me what the fuck I need so I can play this game. Because
you were like, do I buy the $60 thing or the $100 thing? And I was like, the unfortunate news is that it's both.
Yeah.
So, regale me. What has that been?
Well, so here's the thing. Let's back up. Halo's been having a lot of cool updates, and I played a little bit of Halo and I enjoy it. But the problem is Tuna's probably not going to get back into into current Halo. He only plays old Halo. I don't really want to play old Halo.
I got you.
I'm just not going to play it enough to get good at it again to where I was.
Yep.
And I don't want to play a game like that where I'm just like, I'm going to sign in and just get trounced all the time. Because with Halo 3, unlike something like Infinite, like if you think the player base on Infinite isn't like big, like the Master Chief Collection player base isn't massive either. You know, it's even smaller. It's people that have just not stopped playing that game. They've played Halo 3 since it came out on the 360, and they're still fucking playing Halo 3.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And then that news about Call of Duty not being great came out, and I'm like, I don't even really want that necessarily. And you brought up Destiny, and I got to tell you, Tom, I'm back in it, and I really just don't know why I stopped. And I really think I stopped playing because Alex stopped playing, and it was something I really enjoyed doing in co-op. But then I remembered, like, I really only did the raids in co-op mostly. Like, we did do the missions and stuff, but I still primarily played that game for hundreds of hours on my own. And I've been needing a game that, like, for late at night, I don't do VR like after like 10 o'clock at night. So I'm just too tired. I want to like sit on the couch and play. And
probably not good for your sleep cycle too.
Yeah, Walkabout mini golf is, you know, like that is my game. That is the game I'm playing the most still. That is honestly, it's going to beat out Zelda for game of the year for me. And that I think is maybe one of the best, like most fun mechanically video games I think it's ever
put
been
it on
made.
the box. Better than Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah,
it's really, I can't sell this game like more than I am.
We might have sold most of the PSVR 2 inventory at this point.
It's this game is it's unbelievable. But I need something to play that's not Walkabout mini golf, which I do want to talk about. But so I thought about Destiny, and then you talked about the jacket, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Destiny, and then
Destiny.
And the trees fell asleep, and it's like 10:30 at night, and I don't want to get up, and I'm like, well, what do I fucking play? Like if this were 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, if this had happened a few weeks later, this might not have happened because I may have just been like, I'll play Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'll play Alan Wake. I'll play Mario Wonder. RPG. Well, Mario Wonder. Yeah.
But like, also maybe Mario RPG that's coming out. Yeah.
Tom, it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so the shoot. I forgot how good it's so. Yeah. It's so good. Mechanically, that game is so good. Now, the story I still feel is kind of all over the place, but the aesthetics are pretty great.
The story, you have to watch like YouTube videos in order to follow a whole thing.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I loved the Halo 3 campaign. Most of the time, I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. So it doesn't even matter that much.
Yeah.
I will say it was tough though, because that night that I wanted to play, I went and I downloaded the game, and then I was like, all right, what do I need to buy? And then there are just pages.
Yeah.
Pages of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea.
No.
I have no idea what to buy. And it was too late to text you. Oh no, I did text you, I think late at night, but I don't think you saw it till the next day or something. I think I said something to you that night. I don't know. But it was like probably 1 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
So now that I got the info and I started playing, there was a really weird, like, there was a moment, Tom, where I was like, what have I done?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
What have I done? Why did I do this? Why did I spend
Yeah.
this money? I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
And it was like probably the first 10 minutes of literally just not even knowing how to start the game. Just like I'm in the tower and there's just every single thing wants me to go talk to it.
Yes.
And I don't know what order I'm supposed to do anything in. And like, I don't even know how to start the missions. I don't know what missions I should be starting with. Like, yeah, like very overwhelmed very quickly by the game. I got to a place where they put me on like a timeline of Destiny. And they were like, oh, you should start here. Like, because it showed like, I was like, oh, I did do this. That was the last thing I had done. And I didn't do this other stuff. And they were like, all right, you should start here. And I did that mission. But I don't know how to get back to that timeline.
You have your Guardian rank as well, which is a new thing that they've introduced.
I do.
And that is also because the thing is like they've over time tried to make it more accessible for like newcomers and returning players. So they've added multiple systems that are meant to do that, but it can be confusing because there is the timeline, but then there's also the Guardian ranks.
I don't even know how to get back to the timeline.
It's on, I'm pretty sure it's on what the map of the planets. One of the one of the logos that's floating around is like the timeline.
Okay, all right. Well, so I did eventually, like, I finished those quests that it first put me on, and it's really cool because it's like a greatest hits of like whatever that chapter of the game was.
Yes,
and so you can kind of like blow. Like, it didn't matter what my rank was; it put me at the correct rank to be able to like play that. Very clearly, like probably originally like designed to be done with a group and stuff, but you're able to solo it, and so that was all great. And I still have probably a dozen more of those ahead of me. Like right now I'm basically just getting this just like very like quick like concentrated campaign, and I imagine I feel like I might have several more hours of that before I start whatever the current like Destiny is, and I'm actually going to be like my progress was like slow considerably. But right now, man, it is fun. I just got to like the Neon City, like I don't know what you call it, but there's the last city, the something
Nimona.
Everything's neon.
Yep,
looks very different. It's very cool there.
I mean, if you're doing missions there, that is the latest expansion.
Okay, so I think I need to go back to the timeline. Maybe
I think
I also bought the Halo pack.
Yep, the Bungie anniversary. Yep,
I don't know how to get those.
But you have to buy that to do certain things in the game. It's not even just like a cosmetic thing. Like there are, if you are trying to get into like the rhythm of getting the exotics and like all like that, you have to buy that.
Yeah,
it's
I'm loving it though. It's really fun. It's a really fun game. I kind of wish I had never stopped playing it. It's like I played it for like 4 or 5. Like I played, Destiny 1 and all the stuff they put out for that, and 2 and the first few expansions, and then I probably played like half of it.
I don't think, maybe other than the Spider-Man games, but I think that those can also wear themselves thin with their basic like combat. There is nothing like the basic the reason Destiny, I think, is a phenomenal game and why it's so easy to fall back in is just shooting grunts in that game is it kind of never gets
old.
Head
pops are so good, dude. Head pops are so good.
Yeah, I can feel it right now.
All the guns feel good.
Yeah,
it's a really great game. I kind of wish I didn't stop playing it, and I know like, so I'm probably not going to catch up with all the current content before the new content drops.
Sure, yeah.
But at a certain point, assuming I do continue to play it enough, I'll catch up. But I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Once I do it, I don't need to play this game again until there's more new stuff for it. Yeah. And that will be my yearly FPS until maybe one day there's another like Halo product or something, or Marathon. Maybe Marathon will be cool, but that seems like it's just multiplayer. So I don't know. It's great. I really like it. I'm having a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, man. And I want to jump back in myself because I shared with you that like Halloween event is happening.
Yeah.
And they have like Kamen Rider inspired
that's sick
suits. So I'm like, I need those exotics. Chris is jumping in. It's a great time. I've heard this season's content is awesome.
What is your current like level?
Power level?
Yeah.
I think I left off at like 1820.
Okay.
Which was maybe like 2 seasons ago's cap. It might have been like the first season after Lightfall's cap.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the current cap? Like 19?
No, like 1840.
Oh, okay.
So what they do every season,
they start me at 16.
Yeah, and then you quickly get up to like you're flying through caps in the beginning.
I'm already at like 1640.
I think 1800 was the cap level for or 1810 was the cap level for Lightfall, the expansion.
Okay, so if I get all the other stuff done, I'm gonna probably get to about 1800, and then I'm gonna get to normal progression.
Yes, yeah. And
okay.
And then every season it's a 10-point increase, and then there's a big jump again for the next season, the next expansion. And then who knows after Final Shape, because they're changing like they're getting rid of seasons after Final Shape. They're moving to like episodes. It's all changing.
Well, because it feels like they're moving on, like we're coming to the end of Destiny, and then
well, they say that they are making more. This is the first they're kind of like in fucking the MCU, where it's like we have the Infinity Saga, and now we're into the Multiverse Saga. They have said this is the saga of light and dark. We are going to continue to develop Destiny 2 afterwards. We know what their roadmap is for that, at least on the surface level, after Final Shape. That they're moving to episodes. Will we get expansions after that? I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. I can't imagine that they would. I think they should do a complete reboot, refresh Destiny 3, or they'll just call it Destiny,
or make a new game.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's happening. I mean, they're making Marathon, obviously, but something tells me that that's not going to. Destiny will continue to be that kind of cash cow.
Yeah.
Afterwards, so we'll see. But I'm glad you're into it, and we're close
we
enough
can play together. You can join, and you can just like help me just blast through shit by being over level.
There's definitely there's that, and then there's also like I definitely know how you should spend your time. So we'll jump in and do that, and then I think it's also like close enough to Final Shape that even if like we're not continuously playing through till February, when Final Shape drops, you'll be like, no, like I'm gonna fucking.
Well, that's my hope. It's like like right now, I don't need you to be able to play through stuff.
Sure,
like I'm not in a place where like, oh, I need a fire team. Like there's so much for me to catch up on that I can do solo. Which is great, but it like when you are available, there's probably things you can help and just skate right through.
100%. Yeah. I'm definitely,
and then I'll be caught up
for sure
for the Final Shape, because whenever Final they do that, it's kind of like, all right, well, everyone has to be brought to the space level now. Like, you know.
It resets a lot of those things. Everyone's kind of on a same level for a time. Cool, man. Destiny 2, baby.
Cool. Let's talk briefly about Walkabout Mini Golf. Tom, we played
the
other day.
I'm back.
We had another one of our friends growing up who got it, and he has been hilarious to watch play this game.
I haven't played with him yet. I'm curious.
Oh, Tom, I saved Tom.
Yeah.
It was something.
Hit me. Okay.
It was I saved multiple clips while watching someone play this game who just he's got a lot of work to do to get there. But it's so much fun. It's such a fun game. Anyone can pick it up and play it. It's a great game. But Tom, show and tell begins with
oh right, yes,
my Walkabout mini golf putter. So here it is.
Yep.
It's got a custom Walkabout mini golf grip, and it's like really like a nice like foam.
Now this is a third-party thing. It's not made by the developers.
So the developers teamed up with a company that makes accessories, and they made a limited run like official grip.
Hell yeah.
So you can buy that company's, they'll still make this grip, but it won't have the Walkabout branding. It still looks really nice because it's all white anyway, so like it looks like a Stormtroopers golf club, so it kind of looks cool too. But I was like, I want the official Walkabout branding on it. And the way it works is you also have a trigger here that's like on like a pulley system to press a button, and you can press that to do the like grip to putt option, so that like, you know, you can grip to putt. But they are going to be adding an option to switch it to the teleport to ball option. I actually just I swapped the R1 and R2 in the system settings, and I just made it teleport to ball because I don't play with grip to putt on. So I don't need it. This makes it feel like a real golf club in a way that I mean, I played much worse with it for my first time around. There's going to be, you know, some kind of a learning curve here, just because it does feel very different. Yeah, you know, like the club's farther away from me. But
do you have to do anything in the game to say like, hey, I'm using this?
Yes, there's an option to use it, and then what you do is like you set up the appropriate distance from where the club is to your hand, so that like it is correctly like in the right zone, so that like you know like how close to the floor it is, so on and so forth. Which can actually make it helpful for like the ceiling, like the upside downtown where there's like, you know, stuff is above you. You're playing, you know, mini golf on the ceiling or on the wall. Like I can reach farther with this now than my hand could, you know? But the thing that's amazing about it is the extra weight. When you're holding this, it's so bottom heavy. So it like really feels like you're hitting the ball because the controller vibrates when you hit the ball in the game. And so you do feel like you make contact with it.
That's awesome.
Tom, it's really fucking cool.
They're still selling this thing?
Really fucking cool.
And how much is it?
Not the limited edition one, but they are selling it's the exact same model, just doesn't have the grip print on it.
Gotcha.
But I'll send it to you. It's the company's called Hello Real. And it looks cool. The non-limited edition one also looks equally cool because it's all the grip is white. And it looks like if a stormtrooper had a Walkabout mini golf club, that's what it would look like. So it looks pretty fucking
hell
cool.
Yeah. Oh, it matches the white of the thing, yeah.
I really just want to buy another controller. Like I wish they sold them separately. I'm thinking about sending PlayStation a message and being like, my controller's destroyed, and seeing if I can just pay the money to get one, because I don't want to take it out of this because I can just charge it right on it. I just stick it into the charger like this. Taking it in and out all the time is going to be a pain in the ass. So I just want to leave it on. So I really, but they don't sell extra controllers.
That's a good point. They don't just sell them.
Because why would you, I guess? But also,
well, it would just be easier, like if you broke one, than having to fucking reach out and do all that.
Which is why I'm like, maybe I'll just reach out and be like, I broke one.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I can help, because what I'll do is I'll hit up Tuna and I'll say, hey, you know that PSVR 2 system I gave you? I need one of the controllers, and I can claim that at any time because I gave it to you, right? You didn't spend any money on it. You didn't buy it yourself. I gave it to you.
You should do it when he's out of town, right? You come and be like, hey, Brit, I would have texted you. I didn't have your number. I know he's out of town, so I came right here.
A great excuse.
I'm filming a thing for work.
No. I have an even better excuse. Brooke's family is right around there. We're visiting Brooke's family.
Great.
I'll be like, hey, I was in the neighborhood. Yeah. And my controller broke. Can I just pick up the one from Tuna? He won't mind. He won't mind because I gave it to him.
Yeah, because you gave it to him.
Because I gave it to him.
That's great.
Yeah. And then you can and then you'll get the hookup.
Tom,
yeah,
I think that it's time.
Oh God. Oh,
for us to take a look at something. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I would love to take a look at maybe something that I'm going to put on my body.
Tom, today's new shirt is very relevant to what we're talking about. It's the Oof shirt.
What's great?
It's for when you just miss it. When you just miss that hole in one. I call it the really hole in none t-shirt.
The hole in none. Oh, that's so good. It's so funny. I wondered when we'd hit this level of meta where we're making shirts about things that aren't even like. Did you guys reference this element of playing Walkabout?
No, but whenever we play and we just miss, I always go, oof.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We all, I mean, man. So what we're looking at for listeners, again, you can go check out our weekly shirts that we're doing at the TeePublic link in the show notes. But what we're looking at here is a golf hole and the ball. You know, when you're playing mini golf or any of these virtual golf things, and the ball just goes around the hole. It might even dip into the edge and it gets spat out. And it says oof, and it's great. I love it. This is a good one.
I actually have like several mini golf. There might be another one in the future at some point. I have one that was like really complex that I've been working on, and I was working on it. And I was like, I really don't want to rush this to be ready for tomorrow. So I came up with this one last night and then made this instead. But I do have, there will at least be a second one.
Can we do a t-shirt that is like me handing Tuna his VR headset or something like that, like property of Tom Caswell? That'd be funny. No, great shirt. Go check out the link in the show notes for all the fun shirts that we have.
I'm sending the link to Tuna to see if he.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Oh, that I don't like how that populates that link preview, because it just looks like a graphic. You wouldn't know. Do you look at our text chat that I just sent you? You wouldn't know that that is a
t-shirt, right?
A t-shirt. Yeah. I'm gonna send it to him in this green color, because it's like a green.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see what he says. Tom, you want to do a little news?
A little news is good for the soul.
You know what? That's mostly true. Depending on the news.
It's been a week of news.
There's always something horrible happening. I
am very unprepared for this segment right
what?
now. I just realized.
Isn't this your job?
At work? Not anymore, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't realize you weren't doing the news.
We don't do it weekly anymore. We do it we don't do it daily anymore. If it's daily, I'm on it.
Yeah.
But we do it as a weekly show now, and it's less. It's not just like a news broadcast. What's the news? What is the news?
Huey Lewis on the news.
Yeah, what's he up to? What's the Lewis?
All right, well, here's something.
Yeah, go ahead. You start, and then I'll get us.
Best Buy's dropping physical media.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. It fucking sucks, bro. What are they gonna sell? TVs to watch not physical media on?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a great question. I think the real big piece of news is Disney.
Oh, the EA
is apparently pressuring Bob Iger to get into games. And the interesting thing about this to me is Disney had done games before.
Yeah.
What they learned was it's not as lucrative because it's very expensive to run the studios internally. And it made more sense for them to just make money by licensing their IPs out, which I agree with. They made a mistake by giving exclusive rights to a company. Like, what a weird, wild. I mean, that must have just given them money for that. But I feel like Bob Iger must be like, hey, there's a reason why we stopped doing games.
Well, apparently he is not down for it. And that's
this is people. This is people going, how else can we make money? Oh, look at these games that are doing great.
Yeah.
Look at this Jedi Survivor game that people love. We should be making these. And he's like, yeah, but that's not how it works, because a lot of times the games are shit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's interesting because on one hand you hear the news of like Disney is interested in buying EA, and on the other hand you hear the news of Disney wants to sell to Apple and like wants to. Did you hear about this?
Oh,
like
that's not true.
That's spit.
The thing that Disney wants to sell to Apple is their sports stuff. They want to split out their sports stuff if they're not gonna actually sell stuff. Yes, that's like their rights to sports and things like that is that is if Disney were to sell off a leg of it, it wouldn't be any of the things that people think of when they think of Disney. It's ESPN. It's their coverage and access to broadcast sports like the NFL and things like that, because Apple is getting very into that with their like MLS ticket and like their MLB ticket. And
my dad said that there's rumors floating around that they're going to try and get exclusive rights to Formula One, which is obviously one of the biggest sports in the world and actually becoming really popular here in the States as well. So that does make sense. Yeah, I guess I mean I hadn't really looked into it more than a cursory glance because I don't think it'll ever happen. But I can totally see them being like ESPN is them now.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Which then like here's the thing: Apple's not going to really do ESPN. They're going to gut it for the things that they want.
Yes,
and then ESPN content becomes like archival content for them.
Yeah,
it's never going to be the Apple buys Disney. That's just not going to happen.
No. It's not never going to happen. It's not going to be Apple buys Disney in the current state that it is. No,
Apple doesn't want to run a theme park.
No, of course. Well, that's what I was reading. A lot
of their money.
That's what I was reading about this in this Bob Iger story, is that they're looking to split the Disney, the theme park element separately from the entertainment element, and
which is almost impossible to do, because
how would you even because the IP
your theme parks
unless they had in their contract with Apple, like, we have in perpetuity the use of this IP, and Apple would probably agree to that, because it would continue if Apple owns that IP. Like, say they did split and it was all entertainment, right? And they got Disney, they've got Mickey, they got Star Wars, they got Marvel.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, I think the parks element of it is the part that would never make sense. But I think that there would still be, because
I still don't even think so. What if they sold their distribution to Apple? What if they sold Disney Plus to Apple?
Sure, yes.
Right? But they still own the content. But if you want to watch it digitally, it's on Apple service, and Apple gives them a big chunk of money, and they don't have to run it. They don't have to pay for it. They're just licensing their content out.
Yeah.
But they're still making their content. Like, Apple, as much as Apple would love to have some of those IP, at the same time, that's too big of a bill, right?
Yeah.
To buy Marvel and Star Wars and the actual, like, Disney content,
and you're on the hook for making it. Like, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just that is like weird, like, hypotheticals that, like, are in another reality,
in a different multiverse. No, I do agree, but I am thinking that if they were to make a deal like that, having Disney, it would obviously complicate Disney's parks business, but they probably would come up with some kind of, like, in perpetuity agreement, because why wouldn't you want those parks to continue to be successful, because it feeds back into the IP? And I mean, it'll be interesting whatever happens. Obviously, I think there's too many rumors around it for there not to be some kind of truth to it in whatever form that may be. And obviously, the two companies have always been close, because Steve Jobs helped create Pixar and all that.
Yeah.
So and Bob Iger
but Tom, there have been rumors about this for decades,
for a long time. Sure. Yes,
it's also just true. One of those things that people want, because in their head they're like, oh, imagine, and like, these are sickos. These are sickos that
these
want
are
this.
Sickos. They are sickos.
You know what? The last thing I want is for Disney to be bigger. For any of these massive companies like Apple or Disney, or I don't want any of these. You know, like the thing people are really talking about now is, like, in the future, will Universal be the one that buys out Warner? Because it makes a lot of sense for them. It'll make them compete a lot better. They'd have the IP that they like. Like, that makes a lot of, like, that seems like something that is much more possible than Apple buying Disney.
I agree. That would make them more competitive. Interesting. Paramount buying Warner. Interesting.
But it wouldn't be all of, like, HBO. It would be the Warner stuff and, like, the Cartoon Network stuff, like the things that, like, which would go really well with their library.
Right.
So,
wow, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Well, Cartoon Network's dead now, so it's the only way it would ever come back.
That's true. That's mind blowing. When time traveling to yourself in the past and being like, one day Cartoon Network will be dead and its corpse will be shoveled into the body of Nickelodeon. Okay, there is another big news story that came out this week that I cannot believe I forgot about, but it is.
Oh my God, the PlayStation.
The new PlayStation 5. So
it's because I don't give a shit about it.
No, I don't. I really supremely don't give a shit.
I completely forgot about it because I don't care.
If it was a pro model, I might have remembered, but it's not. So yeah, there's a new PlayStation 5 coming out. It is the slim version. Slim.
Yeah.
Still big. Still tall.
Still same ugly ass design. Same ugly ass design.
Maybe even uglier, if I'm being honest. In some respects. Anyway, so it's supposedly volume has been reduced by 30%. Again, it's more on the
volume,
the sides rather than the height. the interesting things are it has this is not an upgrade, right? Like this does not run better. It does have a full 1 terabyte SSD instead of the bullshit like 825 gig one that they have in the regular PS5. I can't believe that they're marketing that as like hey, we've upgraded to a terabyte. I'm like, okay, thanks for the extra 195 gigs. I guess I can install Call of Duty additionally. But the interesting thing is that the digital edition, which is getting a price increase. So I bet you this, whatever digital, and they've said, hey, once current inventory of the old model is sold, we're not selling this anymore. This is going to be the new one in perpetuity. The digital edition is now $50 more. So I bet you digital editions are going quickly, or should be going quickly off the shelves because it's a $50 discount.
Buying this is nuts, especially for the extra storage, because you just buy the current digital edition. Buy the current 100%. Digital edition for less money, spend $80 and get a 2 terabyte SSD inside.
Yes, you get more storage that way. But the digital edition can be outfitted with a disk drive later on for all of those Blu-rays that you can buy at Best Buy. Yeah. It's so bizarre that we're now adding this feature as the more that physical media becomes relevant. But it has the ability to be turned into a disk drive PS5. It costs more than is a disk drive PS5 to do that because it's $80 to get the disk drive. So it's over $500 for the digital being converted later. And then here's the real fucking kicker, Chris. Poor new PS5 owners. You wanna stand this thing horizontally?
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
You're fine. We're gonna include the stand. You want to stand this thing up vertically? That's gonna be another $30. Us Gen 1 PS5 owners, we didn't have to make that choice. We got the stand. It does both. Not this stand. This stand is different. Yeah, so it's, I mean, yeah, if you don't have a PS5 already and you do want one, I would urge you to go buy
the current one.
The current and digital only. The no price increase on the disc one.
Don't get the Blu-ray. You're not even going to be able to buy them soon.
Yeah, fair enough. So there you go. The new PS5 Slim.
I'm realizing I can't ever get rid of my current Xbox. It's my only Blu-ray player, and I do have Blu-rays.
Yes.
So like that's it. I'll have to buy. And I'm not buying a fucking Blu-ray player.
No,
so
not a 4K.
Yeah. So that's it. I will have my Xbox Series X.
Do you have a digital PS5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah. You want to do some quick mail? We'll just do 2 real quick.
Mail, baby.
All right. Email at unrankedpodcast.com or call 805-738-8692. Or if you really want to get it Tuna, then you can retunia, regarding Tuna, RETUNYA on your dial pad, 805 retunia, to leave us voicemail. I'm going to read. Let's see, what do I got here? From Big Boss Nasty. How do you usually shop for groceries now? I've become so used to ordering food during the pandemic that the supermarket seems chaotic. To make my trips quicker, I've begun arranging my list by aisle. My man's got a condition. That is a level of organization in which I can't even fathom.
Yeah,
that takes time. You must really know your grocery store well to be able to do that.
Yeah, I would.
Or do you think it's?
I don't know why ordering the list. I don't know why ordering the list by aisle. I mean, I guess
no, because then you can just snake through it. You could just go from aisle to aisle.
Well, that's what I do anyway. The list just isn't ordered in that way. I just kind of like. It makes it.
Kid, this seems like it's not that helpful.
I don't think it's slightly more helpful because you can just go down, but I don't think it's that much more. And also, I didn't think this would be the question when you started it. I thought it was more like, how do you pick what groceries to get, and not like, how do you organize it? I'm not making. It sounds like I'm making fun of sick. Who wrote in?
Big Boss Nasty. I mean, look, I think this is a level of, and I would understand this if it is. Like, I don't like being at the grocery store anymore. They've made it 100%. The worst experience possible. Yeah. Unless I go to Whole Foods, where like they still do have often like a lot of checkout people. At least the Whole Foods that I go to. But otherwise, if I go to Ralph's, Trader Joe's, but Trader Joe's is always fucking chaotic mess.
Trader Joe's is its own thing.
Always chaotic mess.
Old bowl of nightmare.
Ralph's and like Vons, whenever I go to them, which is like most of the time because it's around the corner from me. Like, why wouldn't I go to that? Man, especially our Ralph's is fucking wild. There's always something happening there. There's always a scene. They have police they have two like police security guards like there at all times. And, like they have like turnstiles to get in and out of it. Because this area used to be like a little rough.
Sure.
And so there's always something going down at the Ralph's.
Always something.
There's always Therese was there one time and she saw
meet you at the Ralph's.
Some guy who was clearly just like not in the right headspace, just like pick up one of the like gallon milk jugs from the fridge and just like chucked it at a kid down the aisle.
Hell yeah,
and then he ran out of the store and like knocked over all the stuff in like the flower stand.
Honestly,
like, this is what happens at my Ralph's.
Honestly, the thing about the grocery store is kind of the monotony, and like that is really, I think that's actually a bonus. You, just bring a little spice, get you like energized.
There's always something. Like when I go, I'm always kind of like, all right, here we go, let's go, let's put your head down, just get in, get out. Like,
I mean, I don't like grocery shopping.
But I use a list. I use a checklist.
Oh yeah,
I use the notes checklist.
We use a list. Brooke writes the list. She likes to make lists.
Oh,
she does it on paper, does it with a pen.
Okay.
I'll say this because we would for a while doing a home meal service.
Yeah, we did HelloFresh for a little bit.
And I'll tell you this, I really liked it. We were able to switch things up. You had the right portions was the biggest thing. You never had like leftovers, which was nice. But there are downsides to it. They're actually not that healthy. Even if you choose the healthy options, they're not that healthy for you. I mean, that's the big one.
I also always just found it a little bit mediocre, but also I think that's just because their vegetarian options just weren't great.
I'm sure that's what it was. But anyway, so we've canceled that recently after we got back from LA. It was our thing. It's like, cool, when we get back, we're not using it. What we have done is just picking recipes before we go to the grocery store. And then doing it that way rather than what I would do before, which is just kind of like, I'll always need chicken. I'll always need like carrots and these a certain amount of vegetables. I'll always want to pick up bacon.
Yeah.
We actually like are doing it where we are buying for specific meals. So it's kind of like a little bit of a mix between having a home chef or one of these delivery services and then getting the groceries ourselves. But yeah, in terms of organizing the list, it's literally just a piece of paper with just like shit scribbled on it.
Yeah. We do a lot of our shopping on the weekend. Mm-hmm. So we'll go to Whole Foods, like, because we'll go to the pool a lot on the weekend because we go to the Whole Foods in our own neighborhood. But otherwise, during the weekday, it's just like, all right, do we need something from the store? Okay. Figure out everything we need, write it down, get in, get out. I just try and I don't dally. I almost never pick up anything that I don't plan on unless I go hungry. And when I go hungry, it's always a fucking mistake. I end up with a bunch of stuff that I didn't plan on buying, a bunch of things I don't need. I end up forgetting to buy like one of the things I needed to get because I'm just get distracted with like shit we don't need because I'm so fucking hungry that my brain just wants to get like the worst things. But yeah, there you go. I think we should actually just not do another one because it's getting late.
And I got a game. Yeah, Christopher.
Oh, I forgot you have a game for me. Tell me about it.
I'm gonna share. Can I share my screen? It has a visual element.
Yeah.
I cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing, but I will describe what the game is.
I gotta stop sharing the.
But you have to play the music, so I'll describe it, then we'll share.
Now try it.
This is we might have done this before, but I can't remember. Go watch the video if you would like, because this is a very visual game. This is guess the game company logo without any words.
All right. Well, Atari.
Correct.
Yeah. For our audio listeners, we got 3 lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Going up,
it
like
kind of looks like the Adidas
like a halo.
Logo.
It's a little bit like if you were standing on a halo, and you were looking in front of it.
Right, looking up so that it's curving up in front of you. Yes. Yep. I'd never kind of visualized it in that perspective. I kind of saw it like flat cut things coming in from the sides. I mean, look, everyone knows the Atari logo. Want to start off with something easy. These are going to get progressively more difficult as we go. Number 2, we have a big R.
Yep, it's rare or rareware. Is what it originally was.
This is the rare logo, but I would have accepted rareware as well. Number 3.
Ubisoft or Ubisoft?
I will accept either. That is correct.
This is how would you describe this?
Kind of one of those things that had the pen and it was on like the gear.
Oh, a spirograph.
Spirograph, like almost like the circles of a spirograph.
It's a little bit of like a Fibonacci spiral as well.
Yes, there's something going on with the Fibonacci's here. But yeah, it's like it's circles within circles at different angles.
Circles all the way down.
Circles all the way down.
Cirque City.
Here's logo number 4.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna make a guess, and here's the thing: I don't think I play this company's games, but I believe this is Riot.
This is Riot Games. Yes! It is a fist kind of
punching. Oh, I'm happy about this one because I don't know if I play any of their games. Tom.
I wanted to pick. I wanted to give you a couple of easy ones, and I wanted to pick stuff that I know you don't play the games, but you're probably aware of the logo.
Yeah.
So let's look at number 5.
Ooh.
This one, I think if you don't get, you're going to kick yourself, but I think that's by design because I think it's so for listeners, we've got kind of a gray curved square, and then on the bottom
it looks almost like a Switch cartridge.
It does a little bit. Imagine a Switch cartridge. Now, I do want to say that this gray box that's not matching the color is covering the text like that. This gray box does not exist. So it's got a square with curved angles, and then on the bottom, it's kind of got like a triangle. Kind of also looks like maybe a memory card for a PS2. And then obviously there's no text.
It does look like some kind of a memory card or something. God. So like here's what I'm gonna say is I would describe it almost as like a token.
Sure.
I picture this. I picture this in on like a video game case in like the corner. Like I can see that, but I can't in my mind's eye even imagine what actually like what letter or what letters are in it or what kind of games. You know what's weird is I wanted to say like Valve at first because of the color, but I know it's not. But I feel like it's something like Valve.
Okay.
Like this is a big company. All right, hold on. It's not Activision, and it's not EA, and it's not Valve, and it's not Blizzard. It's none of the big, console makers. It's not Oculus. They have that just like oval. Is this Epic?
It's Epic Games.
Shut up!
It is Epic Games. Well done.
Oh, I didn't think I was going to get it.
You got it. I didn't think you were either. I really thought that you weren't. Okay, well done. So you've gotten all of them right so far. 5 for 5.
Well,
Let's
that's
see if you
probably
get number 6.
All right, so I'm gonna get this wrong.
It's the silhouette. It's a white silhouette of a dog.
I'm gonna get this wrong, but just because if it's right, I'm gonna feel like such a jackass that I didn't guess it. So I will make, because I don't think I know this.
Okay.
But for that safety reason, I'm gonna guess Naughty Dog.
Oh, good guess, because it's the dog.
And because I can't picture what their logo is in my head either.
Oh, I was gonna pick Naughty Dog, but I thought it might have been too iconic. But
maybe it is not. If I see it, but I can't. It's imagine also what like it is at all.
Mostly the word Naughty Dog. There's a little bit. We'll maybe save it for an additional
one. Maybe that's why I can't picture it very well.
Chris, you're gonna laugh. It's Zynga.
Oh, you mother!
Makers of such games as Farmville, and other things. So there you go.
That was good. That was good. You did find one in which I was not going to get it.
All right. So that's your first miss here. We got 4 more.
Konami?
Konami is correct. This is Konami. It is 2 kind of wavy, almost like slides, like a water slide. And there's a green one and that's green at the top, and then there's a red one underneath.
Yeah.
And they kind of form like
I always pictured it as like a racetrack for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know what the inspiration is. It might kind of be like a loose K that's kind of been, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with it, but it is the Konami
Although I think the logo is the same in Japan.
It is, yes.
So it's probably not based on a K.
Yeah. I don't know. The next one. I think we're going to get into some ones here that you're unfamiliar with.
That's all right. I've got passing grade as far as I'm concerned.
You do have a passing grade. You've gotten 6 out of 7. Let's get to number 8.
Oh.
For listeners here, we've got kind of like a leaf shape, and it is that red in the middle, like a dark red. And then,
I'd say it's red, and so it's 3 leaf shapes. One is beige, one is black, one is red, and then they're overlaid over each other. So
there's
then
actually
you have
6 colors.
You have like the bright red, and you have like the burgundy, dark red in between. Yeah, it's like the middle one is like opaque.
The combination of
the
3,
it's the Venn diagram kind of color between them. God, I don't even know what to guess for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's clearly not a big company, but they've probably made games of some kind. But like what games they've made, like I tried backing up because I was like, this is probably a small logo. So it's like, let me back up away from the computer to like see it. I was like, I don't know, maybe it'll feel more obvious to me if that's what I do. I'm gonna take just a random guess, and I'm gonna say Crystal Dynamics.
Oh, interesting.
Because I don't know what their logo is, and it was the first dev that popped into my head.
I'm pretty sure Crystal Dynamics logo is just the word Crystal Dynamics.
There's probably a lot of those.
This is Sony Santa Monica.
Oh,
God of War developer.
Yep.
This is a tough one. Because it's not a very iconic logo, but it is obviously a very well-known company. So, all right, numbers 9 and 10. All right, so 6 of 8. Let's see if you can still get that passing grade. I mean, I guess also if we have 10, a passing grade, you'll skate with a 6. But let's see if you can do any better. This is number 9. For listeners, it's kind of like an arrow.
Well, it looks like the GameCube logo a little bit on the inside.
Oh, I see that. Yes.
Right.
It's got a little bit of that. If you're viewing it, obviously, from like a perspective where it is 3 dimensions. And I have actually never looked at it that way. But if you were to look at it flat, it's kind of like an arrow pointing down. But instead of it being a complete arrow before it completes the lines on the right side, the line turns in and mirrors the above arrow shape.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really recognize this. The inside makes me think like the negative space of the letter. Like this is either a company that starts with G or has like a C in it. One of those. So I'm gonna say the Coalition, but I know it's not because I think they have like a gear.
They do have a gear, and I did almost pick them, but I thought,
but it has like a military kind of vibe to it as well.
Yes.
So I thought maybe something like them, but I'm going on feel with this, even though I know it's wrong. What is it?
Gorilla.
Fuck, I was right about
Horizon. Yes, you were right about the G. When you said GameCube, actually, I was like, oh, it's a
You're like, G. Oh, it's a G. And I assumed it was. But then I'm like, maybe it's not a G. Maybe that's why he didn't notice that. Maybe it's the C that could be on the inside of the G. Damn. I don't know if I would have.
Developer of Horizon and Killzone before they worked on Horizon.
I don't know that I would have thought of Gorilla, even if I had gone
knew
with the
that
G
it was a G,
longer.
yeah.
I would have, I probably would have come to, or maybe not. I'm actually kind of struggling to think of many with a G.
Let's see if we get this last one. Let's see if we get this last one. I'm really curious if you know this one.
It looks familiar.
And just to clarify, I did not pick small like indies or anything like that. These are AAA developers.
I think I know what this is. I think this is the Witcher Boys. The CD Projekt.
It is CD. Whoops. It is CD Projekt Red. Well done. Yes, this is the CD Projekt logo. It is a bird. It's like a kind of cool bird. It's cool.
I mean, it looks like a PC gaming logo.
It looks like if they cyberpunked a bird.
It does kind of look like they cyberpunked a bird.
So there you go, 7 out of 10, Chris. I think you did very well there, and I think that the ones that you didn't get are the harder ones. And so
I'm happy with that.
So I am curious, the CD Projekt, because I don't think that the logo is necessarily iconic, but obviously it's a very iconic studio. Is there anything specifically that tipped you off to this being CD Projekt?
I feel like I've seen it, and it made me think of PC games, probably because I just knew it,
There you go, yeah.
Well, what was the franchise that they made that was huge before?
The Witcher.
What was the other thing they did? Didn't they do something else?
The Witcher is what put them on the map.
Is it?
And then they did Cyberpunk, and then they did Cyberpunk.
Okay, yeah. So maybe it just
they are an old company. They have been around for a while, so they might have done. You are aware of.
I played Gwent.
So they translated games into Gwent. That, I mean, obviously,
so that's probably why.
Yeah, so they before making The Witcher, they translated the Baldur's Gate games into Polish.
Oh, interesting.
And then The Witcher was like their first
that was the first one.
game. Yeah.
It's probably because I played
Gwent. Game was The Witcher. Dang. That's crazy. Okay. Well, there we go. Crazy. There you go. 7 out of 10. A solid grade. Yeah, take that.
Well, if it's from GameStop, it's pretty good. GameSpot would say it's pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty good.
This is being added in post because the narrator wasn't available. He'll probably say something like, next time on Unranked, Christian's still sore from Dodgeball.
The previous week, not even the next week, he has to play.
Alex doesn't know what happened to his right PlayStation controller. And Tom's bought an off-brand mini golf club. All this and more on the next Unranked.
Suck it.
It'll be something like that.